Through me as a person, I think what service users have taught me is that we're all infallible and we're all have things happen in our lives, and there's something about, I believe, that I need to bring my whole self to work, not just the competent professional side of me, but also the stuff that struggles sometimes, the thing that, I'm a carer, I'm a mum. I bring all of that to me at work and all of that experience, not just me as a nurse. I think I have in my core of my being that sense of social justice and wanting to do the right thing and make sure there's equality and people get proper life chances. So I think it's just in the core of my being. I really love the philosophy of nursing. You're not an expert coming in a paternalistic way telling people what the cure is or what the way is. What you're doing is you're coming along and you're walking alongside someone to help them find their own path to recovery. You're finding their own way to find contentment and peace in life. As a nurse, you're coming along not as an expert, but somebody who can walk shoulder to shoulder with them, using your expertise and their expertise together. There's something about nursing that I really passionately love. I'm an introvert, and so at the end of the day, at the end of lots and lots of meetings, I need time on my own and I need space. So at the moment, which is very unlike me, I go to the gym, I paint and cook and spend time with my family. My family are everything. I don't know how I could do my job without my husband in particular. He is definitely my rock, and he's a social worker, works with young offenders. We met at work, so it's nice to have someone who knows what it's like on a day-to-day basis. I have 5 children, 3 stepchildren and 2 children, and 1 grandson, and I'd say that they keep me rooted in reality. I've always been quite a sensitive person, someone who was quite shy but feels quite a lot. I was very fortunate as a 16-year-old, and I'd done some voluntary work at Tolworth Hospital with people with profound learning disability. I used to come back really talking passionately about the young people I was working with there. I still remember their names, Billy and Helen. My mum was talking to her friend on the phone, and she said, she said she'd seen a newspaper cutting in the bin that said there was a job for a healthcare assistant with people who had been discharged from long stay institutions in Epsom, and said, I think Jane would be really good at that. So I thought, why not? I'll just have a go. I'll just see what it's like. And I went, and I fortunately got the job and became healthcare assistant and absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. And within a few weeks, the manager said, I think you should train to be a nurse. And my first response was, I really don't think so. I don't like the thought of all that blood and all body, or just not me at all. But as I got into the post, I realised that there was mental health nursing and learning disability nursing that I hadn't really known was a viable option before. I'm particularly interested in ensuring that people who don't have a voice have a voice, and that we have services that are particularly designed and meet their needs. I do genuinely think that throughout my career, each step that I've gone has been shaped by experiences with service users and carers and colleagues. It's the unique perspectives that different people come to life with. One of the things that sticks out most in my mind of something that a service user taught me was when they said the least restrictive practice starts with a conversation. And to me, that epitomised what we were trying to do, a conversation with people and understanding where they're from and where they're at and being interested in them. And so that when I say they shape what I'm doing, I mean about through listening, through conversation, through just seeing things from their perspective. I remember saying to my dad, I want to be a nurse consultant because that's the most senior thing you could be, and be a clinician, because I wanted to still be making a difference and be working with people. And then I became a nurse consultant and I became a lead clinician. I felt that I needed to be at the next level to be able to influence and impact the next thing. I chose to do a clinical doctorate because I wanted it to be relevant to my clinical practice, not just an abstract piece of research on a shelf, that I wanted it to really impact on what I was doing. I explored it and I thought I will do my doctorate and I'll have a look at the mental health needs of young people in street gangs, because when I looked at the literature to think about how we could meet the needs of these young people, I found nothing in the literature about mental health. And so I went on to do the research, which was based in South London, Feltham and Cookenwood Young Offenders Institutions, and think about how we can make our services relevant to this population rather than us trying to fit our ideas of services into what we felt they needed. One of the things that attracted me to this trust was the community focus, because that's out of that research I realised how much community means. If you're going to recover and you're going to move on in life, it needs to be within your community. It wasn't necessarily because I was interested in the one-to-one work with the young people on a day-to-day basis. I wanted to have a bigger impact. So each time it's been to get to the next level. Having been the lead clinician, I thought I'd quite like to be a chief nurse once I'd been and found out what that meant, and that it didn't mean I had to do it in the same way as everybody else. And became a deputy chief nurse, so did a sideways step, then became a chief nurse, and then I thought I'd quite like to be a chief executive, and then it led to here. I came in August and to be the Chief Nursing Officer. I was really excited about that and have really enjoyed settling into the post. Then this opportunity came up, and it was just a really exciting opportunity to think about how I could move to the next stage in my career and actually make a difference. Having been in the NHS for a long time, the one thing I know for sure is that there's always going to be change. We've got a really strong foundation. So Sam, Sally, Gavin, Rick, they have built a really solid and strong foundation. That is not going to crumble because that's there and that's in place. Then it's based on values, and that's the important thing. Systems and processes and people might change, but the values should stay strong. And I think the values are there, and they've been demonstrated time and time again when I've been out in services, and I have no doubt they are scattered throughout the whole organisation. So we're not going from rubbish to good. We're going from good to great. I think we should always be aspiring to improve and to develop and to change to meet the needs of our local population. So there is change. Things are going to look different because things do change when people change. And I'd be a fool to say, no, everything's going to be all right and everything's going to look the same. It's not. But what I would want is just to bring everybody along on that journey with us, and that for it to be done in a really transparent way, but that we're all building on the same values and have the same purpose in mind to deliver exceptional services to the people in Sussex and Hampshire. My 3 priorities at the moment, they may change as I start thinking more, are quality, integration and workforce. When I talk about quality, I'm talking about safety, effectiveness and experience. I think we really need to focus on safety, but also the effectiveness and experience, but do that through quality planning, quality controls and quality improvement, and really embed quality improvement across the trust as our methodology for making change and embedding change. So quality across all 3 domains, using all 3 parts of the Durand Triangle that I think is my first priority. The second is system, and it's that word that keeps coming up all over the place in the NHS at the moment, but I do think it's essential, and I think it fits really well with SPFT and our mission around the community. I think we need to really think about how we deliver our services in terms of place, and how we look at how we fit with the NHS of the future so that we're on the front foot and we're prepared for the future of the NHS in terms of place and locally delivered services. I think we need to really think about how we deliver services. And then the third would be around workforce. And I think particularly around recruitment and retention narrows it down too much, but I think it's about having a workforce that feels really valued and is given continuous professional development opportunities and opportunities to innovate and opportunities to drive forward improvements that mean that this is the place that people want to work and want to stay. And I see a really motivated workforce. So you can be tired and motivated. We just need to make sure they're supported to continue to work, but also to continue to find the joy at work and the things that really get them excited. Because I think those are the things that I know in my career, I felt really motivated when I felt that there's a new challenge or something that I could really influence and impact myself. And so that collective leadership piece where people feel that they've got skin in the game and they can make a difference themselves, that they're not being done to, is the next stage. Because the pandemic, we've had to go into control and command. And that isn't a nice place to be. No one likes to be in control and command. I think as a society we prefer collective leadership where we have autonomy and we feel we can make a difference and can make a change. So I think within the context of COVID's here to stay, but we need to get in, strengthen that collective leadership where people feel that they can influence things. And so it's about learning how to work together and how to manage each other's stress levels and to know the triggers for each other so that we are operating as a strong leadership team that enables people to manage and lead themselves. I'm most looking forward to getting to know people more in the service, to get out and about and to find out what they're passionate about. And I think one of the privileges of being in a leadership position is that you can unblock things for people when they have a vision or a dream or something, that you have a bit more influence in unblocking things for them to be able to achieve those dreams that they have.